David Akubian, Bear Woods Photography. I'm sitting on my back porch and I'm photographing in my bird studio inside of the Bear Woods Wildlife Sanctuary. I just put some mealworms out. I shook the feeders up a little bit, so I'm starting to get the birds in for their last feeding of the evening. It's sun starting to set, got some nice light. I just want to talk about my settings when I'm photographing the birds. Tonight I'm using the Canon EOS M50. Just want to play with the mirrorless camera. I'm using the adapter. I've got it on the Tamron SP150 to 600, DIVC USD G2. I'm sitting in manual mode, F8, 1/125th of a second, and auto ISO. Now the reason I use the auto ISO is the birds are flying in and out of some light into shadow, and I'm not quick enough to capture that movement of the birds. They're very, very quick when they're doing it. So I would rather go ahead and rely on the camera's metering systems to go ahead and make that adjustment for me. So again, I'm using manual mode, 1/125th of a second, F8, auto ISO. For my focusing, I'm using single spot focus, and I'm using the single focus versus like the AI servo. Once I push it and it locks on, it won't refocus until I release it and then reapply the partial pressure to the shutter release. I don't use the continuous because the birds move a little bit and the cameras tend to jump to the backgrounds, and I don't want to do that. They move fairly quickly and they move often, so it's just easier for me to go ahead and lock on to them and stay there. If I need to refocus, I just let go. So I'm using my PhotoPro Eagle Series E9 tripod and gimbal head. Whenever I'm on the back porch, I use a gimbal or with a tripod, or I use a monopod at the very least. I just keep it steady that way because I am shooting down at 1/125th of a second with a 600mm lens, so I do keep in mind the movement. If the birds are really still, I'll drop it down to 1/60th of a second. In the mornings when the sun's coming up and the birds are front lit, I'll often take it up to 1/250th, 1/500th, even 1/1000th of a second. So those are the settings when I'm shooting the stationary birds inside of my studio here. So I will discuss in another video at some point my settings for birds in flight. But this is just simply talking about the birds in a stationary situation. I've got 3 posts set up around the feeder. The birds land on there. That's when they're doing their posing for me. So anyhow, I will post a few of the images in the video that I get tonight. I've already gotten a couple of the male bluebird coming in. I was hoping to get some images of some of the babies flying in, trying to beg for some mealworms. They've only been fledged for about a week, so they're still in that stage where they'll be begging for a couple weeks still. So anyhow, enjoy the evening. I know I am. I'm sitting on a beautiful low 70s day. Just absolutely gorgeous here in the Bear Woods Wildlife Sanctuary up in Bear Woods in Jasper, Georgia. So thank you again. And if you think about it, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.